Welcome to the 2023 NCAA Field Hockey Rules Interpretation. I am Cheryl Bertomesso, NCAA Field Hockey Rules Interpreter. If you're reviewing this on the ncaa.org website, we cannot track you that you are watching this. If you're thinking about doing postseason games, I would suggest you watch this on the RQ platform. This is an eligibility requirement for postseason appointments. There will be a live question and answers Tuesday, August 8th at 7 o'clock. Please be on the lookout for the link. In this presentation, we will outline the NCAA changes to the modifications. Most of them do not affect the on-field experience. We will go through the emphasis the FIH is sending, the ball over the back line, equipment on penalty corners, and aerials. There will also be hosting separate videos on the RQ platforms about video review process and shootouts with roles and responsibilities. NCAA changes. 3.1 uniform. Changes from the word contrast to light for the away team. This change was made to help umpires properly administer the rules of the game. 3.2 blood rule. This brings everything into alignment. The FIH states if a player is bleeding, they must leave the field and cannot wear blood-stained clothing. If an athletic trainer goes on the field, the player needs to come off. This is consistent with the NCAA modification 2.b. .4, the horn. This has been inconsistent, and the umpires will need to whistle the teams back onto the field. Weather. This is a major change. 4.5c. No game should be started more than 3 hours after the original schedule unless the umpires have been notified and a new time has been mutually agreed upon before the start of the game. If there's a suspension, we ideally want to get the games in. However, once the game has started and been suspended, it needs to restart within the 3-hour window, unless it's already been predetermined that it will be changed to another time. There will be shared with all NCAA members in conference a model pregame timesheet. This is just a model, a suggestion. This model will ask the person who's making the weather decision to be identified and where the different parties should go if necessary for shelter, predetermined plan for suspension and continue play. For example, if there's expected storms that may come in rolling through but should pass quickly, we're going to wait it out. But once the bad weather starts, and it will not be, there's no way, there's a hurricane coming, and once the weather starts, it's going to be there for 12 hours, we'll have the NCAA modifications to stand by. This pregame sheet will also include a suggestion on when the umpire should meet with home site representative for the video review process, and which will show them the different camera angles and ability to zoom in, slow down. All right. It's also an expectation that the umpires will not have to manipulate the videos themselves during review. We'll see how that works. Number 6, carding coaches. This is again new. We still want to use our preventative umpiring tools and skills when interacting with the coaches before a green card. Be clear and direct when giving information. It's best to keep it simple. Here's my call, or what rule was applied. The green card is a communication that the boundaries have been passed and the bench misconduct is warned. This green card does not affect the number of players on the pitch. Yellow card to the head coach for bench. The captain comes off to serve the 5-minute suspension and the team plays short. Again, umpires have tools to manage the sidelines between the green card and the yellow card. Be concise and clear in your decisions. Red card. The head coach shall be ejected from the contest, as always, and shall be suspended for the next regularly scheduled game, including the postseason games. The team does not play short. All red cards need to be reported to your signers. Each has its own way of gathering information. This year, there will be a post-game form to have each umpire record cards, both for players and coaches, and this will help in our discussions moving forward. FIH emphasis. A ball over the back line. The rule has not changed. Applying the rules, Rule 7.4c, ball intentionally played over the backline by a defender and no goal is scored, it is clear that the action is intentional. The umpire should not hesitate to award a penalty corner. But it must be clear that the action is intentional. Something to think about. If the ball's over the backline near the flag at the sideline and it's not a penalty corner, then the same action in the circle is not the penalty corner. The circle edge does not influence our calls. 10.2. It relates to the ability for the goalkeeper to deflect the ball over the backline. The Rules Committee recognizes that it's virtually impossible to stop a shot on goal without some type of movement. And in Rule 10.2, the goalkeepers are permitted to use their stick, feet, kickers, legs, leg guards, and any other part of their body to deflect the ball over the backline or play the ball in any other direction. Note that any reactionary movement by the goalkeeper to save a shot on goal that propels over the backline should result in a corner, not a penalty corner. In this country, we call it a long hit, a 23. There were some questions last year about the defense taking a self-pass in the circle while still wearing penalty corner equipment after the award of a free hit to them. I spoke to Sean Report, U.S. Director of Umpiring, for guidance. Rule 4.2 provides that for awarding a free hit against the defending team if a player takes a self-pass while wearing protective equipment used to defend the penalty corner. The rule does not specify, provided for, or the possibility that was not considered the situation of a self-pass taking place inside the circle. So, after much discussion, we should all use our umpiring hat and understand what is the spirit of the rule. The rule was put in to allow the defense to get off a quick restart and allow the game to flow. So if you see the D taking a self-pass in the circle, you can come in with a quick whistle and ask them to remove their mask. As the rule states, all players must remove all protective equipment before they leave the 23-meter or when instructed by the umpire. Aerials. I still believe the Irish video on aerials is still one of the best to understand the rules and applications. It is linked both on the ncaa.org and the RQ Plus platform. The Rule 9.10 has not changed. Players must not approach within 5 meters of an opponent receiving a falling ball until it's received control and is on the ground. The ball may be intercepted within 5 meters outside the playing distance, but it's done safely. And then the initial receiver has the right to the ball. And it's important to be aware of potential risks and benefits early on. A receiver should have at least 5 meters of clear space. A player outside of 5 meters can intercept the ball in an uncontested situation and does not cause opposing to come in within playing distance. It's important to make a quick decision about potential danger during the final 20 meters. Will the ball be contested? It's important to distinguish between a ball that's landing amongst players and one that is intercepted. This one's clear and an easy one. Well, one thing you'll notice is the advice is on free hit or play advantage. Recognize the space and the ability to play the ball. It's an area where we don't look consistent between high skill teams and lower skill teams. This past summer, the umpires were consistent with space and called early the encroachment players, recognizing and gave space to allow players to continue. Again, dangerous intercept. Again, easy to recognize on video. There was a question about aerials into the circle. The same rule and criteria apply. Speaking to Sean, he said that the past year that nearly 100 games with balls thrown into the circle, only one penalty strike was called. Aerials is where you need to recognize the advantage, recognize the skill, and react to that. The rules of hockey have not changed dramatically in the past couple of years. We want to continue developing the awareness, recognition, and action as umpires. Being the third team on the pitch, look to be proactive, set standards early, talk to players, and communicate with your partner. Umpiring is demanding, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Do what you need to do to be fully ready for the season, to to ensure the game is played safely and fairly. A reminder, there will be a live questions and answer session on Tuesday, August 8th at 7 p.m. on the East Coast time. I would encourage everyone to join the RCube Plus platform. You can post your questions on the RCube Plus platform or email me directly. Finally, thank you for your commitment to the game and all you do to support field hockey.